Hi Deva. I heard you have started a new business in textiles. Congratulations. How is it going?
The business is not doing as well as expected.
Why? What is the problem?
The wholesalers in the city force us to sell our goods at very low prices. We don't know what to do.
Why don't you join with other textile traders and form an association? Together, you can bargain and get a better deal for yourselves.
Form an association? How would that work? Has anybody done that before?
Oh, trade associations have been used by people throughout history. In fact, even in ancient India, traders and artisans formed associations to safeguard their interests.
Tell me more about it.
Trade associations in ancient India were known as guilds. A guild is an association of persons from the same trade. For example, there could be guilds of sculptors, weavers, merchants, or any other trade. There were essentially two types of guilds. One formed by artisans or craftsmen, and the other by traders. The artisans produced goods and sold them, while the traders did not produce anything. They simply bought and sold items. Guilds were formed to provide security and financial support to the trading communities. Trade guilds existed since the 8th century in southern India. The most famous ones were Manigramam, Shreni, and Nanadhesi. Gujarati traders, including the Hindu Banya and the Muslim Bohra communities, also formed major trading groups that sold textiles and spices to foreign countries. Other major community-based trading groups were the Chettiars and the Marwadi Oswals.
How exactly did these guilds work?
Well, they had an organized structure similar to what we see in modern-day companies. For example, let's look at the general structure of one of the guilds called Shreni. The head of the entire guild was known as the Shreni Mukhya. Next, each local guild was headed by a Sresdi. Guilds also maintained careful records of their financial transactions. The person in charge of the financial accounts was called the Prathamakayast. Guilds also had treasurers known as Bhandagarikas. Guilds laid down a moral code of conduct based on honesty, integrity, fair trade, and fixed prices for its members. Whoever did not follow this code was punished. Guilds also maintained meticulous records of their activities, rules, and regulations. This documentation was called Lekhakriya. The guilds also acted as courts of law, where disputes among members were settled by their own elected executives. Many guilds maintained their own army which accompanied the trade caravans. These armed forces were known as Shreni Bala. They helped ensure that goods reached their destinations safely. The formation of guilds greatly facilitated domestic as well as foreign trade in ancient times. Taxes paid by the guilds formed an important source of revenue for construction of temples and other public works taken up by the state. In times of need, kings would even ask the guilds to contribute more money to the state treasury.
I guess the guilds in ancient India were quite powerful.
Unity is strength.
I guess you are right. Thanks for the advice.